This is not just about me. If I gotta fight for all of us, I will, but I won't let the court systems just walk over me. I won't let Jay-Z, I won't let no one just walk over me and tell me something because y'all just saying this. I want the truth. And if we can't go to the Supreme Courts, the regular courts, to find out the truth, what are they here for?
Yeah, all right. We'll get to the legal things that you've been through, the battles.
I don't have no felonies. I'm not crazy and none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And it seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that, you could have just got taken care of. That's it.
The courtroom was drowning in tension, the kind of heavy silence that makes your skin crawl before something explosive drops. All eyes locked on the judge as he read the results, each word slicing the air like a knife nobody saw coming. DNA testing confirmed the very thing Jay-Z spent years denying and hiding. He is the father of Rymir Satterthwaite. The reaction inside the room wasn't polite gasps. It was raw shock, a sound that ripped through the gallery like the whole place got punched in the chest.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
And right there, the billionaire mogul, the untouchable architect of Rock Nation, slammed his fists on the table, his voice cracking as he tried to shout down the truth he swore would never see daylight.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
In that single moment, Jay-Z wasn't the calculated icon who lived above scandal. He was stripped down, cornered, exposed for the world to see. We've watched powerful men sweat before, but never like this. His empire was built on the illusion of control, the sharp suits, the cold moves, the mastermind who stayed 3 steps ahead. But as his face twisted with panic and fury, that illusion shattered right there in real time. For years, his lawyers moved like a fortress around him. Sealed files, endless delays, perfectly polished public statements. Whenever Rymir's name popped up, it was brushed aside like noise, dismissed as nothing more than a nuisance.
I got older and my mom just continued to say the same thing, and she never changed the name. She always was staying with the same name. I'm like, well, Mom, why? As I got to 16, 17, I'm like, Mom, you've been saying this since I was a kid. So it's like, now my mom never lied to me, so why not believe?
Yet with one single court announcement, every wall he built crumbled instantly. No verse could distract. No staged family photos could soften it. No multi-million-dollar brand deal could bury it. The secret he buried had become the headline. And now the crowd wasn't just fans, it was a jury of millions watching him fall.
Oh, no, Jay. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
The wildest part wasn't just that the truth came out, it was what it did to the Carter image. For over a decade, Jay-Z and Beyoncé sold themselves as music's royal family, untouchable and flawless. But the cracks had always been there if you looked closely. The cheating confessions hidden in album cycles. The infamous elevator fight that became a meme before anyone even tried to explain it.
Beyoncé for sure. I love her. I love Beyoncé. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both of them.
And now this, a secret son dragged out into the light, ripping down everything the Carters tried to protect. If Jay-Z could hide this for so long, what else has been tucked away behind that velvet curtain of power and money?
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
We can't ignore the whispers about Beyoncé either. Multiple insiders claim she wasn't blindsided at all, that she'd quietly known for years. The story goes, she demanded silence, making it clear that as long as the scandal stayed buried, they could still rule as the untouchable duo. Protect the kids, protect the brand, protect the billions. That was the mission. But silence always comes with a price.
The plane crash that killed a rising star in the world of music and film. Reaction today after Aaliyah and 8 others were killed when their plane went down.
And when the gavel dropped, blowing their cover wide open, sources say Beyoncé's response was ice cold. Fix this mess or risk losing everything, including me. That's not some petty marital fight. That's a nuclear ultimatum threatening to crack the very foundation of music's so-called royal family. But before the ink on that DNA report even dried, the rumors got uglier. A former Rock Nation insider, someone allegedly close enough to know the secrets money was meant to bury, started whispering about another skeleton, Letitia Mier. If Rymir's truth knocked Jay-Z off balance, Letitia's story could blow his entire legacy to pieces. Letitia is a 28-year-old woman from Maryland who has boldly claimed for years that Jay-Z is her father, blasting it out on Instagram, even calling herself Jay-Z's first daughter. She wrote, "I've been quiet for far too long," and detailed how folks in her hometown always knew the truth. Family members even backed her, with her own sister publicly claiming she personally introduced Jay-Z to Letitia's mother.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Okay, I get the threats.
This isn't some faceless online rumor. This is real people, real bloodlines pointing the finger straight at him. And it doesn't stop at paternity claims. Industry chatter says Jay-Z secretly supports her in the shadows, even buying her a house in Cambridge, Maryland, with one strict condition: she could never acknowledge him in public. A deal not scribbled on contracts, but carved in silence. Payments sliding under the table each month, replacing DNA results with hush money. One of Jay-Z's own former friends, singer Emilio Sparks from State Property, even hinted this arrangement was real, painting Jay not as a man confronting his truth, but as a mogul keeping his secrets on retainer. If that's true, it shows a pattern. An empire stacked not on honesty, but on payoffs and cover-ups.
What's up, what's up? This is Beyoncé on the red carpet with one of the hottest female artists out here, Miss Aaliyah. How you doing, girl? It's so good to see you.
And you have to ask, how far back does this deception really go? Jay-Z has fought back before, firing off legal filings, accusing Rymir's camp of harassment, claiming they spent decades trying to wreck his life. He's denied, deflected, even laughed it off in his music, mocking it with that line, "The kid ain't mine," comparing himself to Michael Jackson. But swagger in a verse doesn't hold weight in federal court. This time, when the papers were read, no rhyme could save him. If Rymir was the first domino to fall, then Letitia could be the one to knock the whole line crashing down. And looming over it all, Beyonce's pristine reputation. If she stood beside him while he buried the truth, then her silence shifts into complicity, and her carefully curated image of empowerment twists into something much darker.
There are people who did short sales on their stocks right after that, made a lot of money, including Sean Carter. Now I'm going to ask you, why would non-disclosure agreements need to be signed for an accident?
That betrayal cuts deep because Jay-Z has always branded himself as the voice of authenticity, the hustler from Brooklyn's Marcy Projects who climbed to billionaire status through sheer talent and drive. But authenticity doesn't survive when your personal life looks like a sealed court docket. Now, fans aren't just questioning his music, they're asking if his empire was built by skill or by lawyers and PR spin covering his tracks. The same fans who once screamed his lyrics are scrolling through Letitia's Instagram, pointing at the resemblance, shaking their heads at how undeniable it looks. This isn't just a courtroom scandal anymore, it's a mirror being shoved in his face. Proof that the truth has flesh and blood, and it's staring straight back at him.
Is it really a conspiracy if the same person keeps benefiting off the same kind of tragedy over and over?
And the timing couldn't be worse. Jay-Z's name is already tangled in the industry's darkest corners. Lawsuits, whispers, and links to scandals involving other high-profile figures. Every headline is hammering away at the myth of the untouchable mogul. First, Rymir's DNA results shook the table. Then Beyonce's rumored ultimatum tightened the noose. And now Letitia's claims are resurfacing with new force. The real question isn't if Jay-Z survives this storm. It's whether there's even an empire left when the dust settles. For years, Jay-Z has sold himself as more than just a rapper. He styled himself as a mogul, a visionary, the voice of reason in an industry drowning in chaos. He stood next to politicians, handed out scholarships, spoke about justice and responsibility. He became the face of progress, the blueprint of how to rise above circumstances and claim billionaire status. But when you strip away the speeches, the philanthropy, the polished interviews, the contradiction smacks you in the face. How can a man who demands transparency from others dodge a DNA test for over a decade? How can someone who raps about loyalty and family values turn his back on blood relatives who literally mirror his face? That hypocrisy is now eating through his image faster than any lyric, speech, or staged photo shoot can fix. We can't underestimate the damage. Every polished interview about being a role model, every verse framing him as a leader for his community, now cuts both ways like a double-edged sword. Fans who once praised him as a beacon of responsibility are left shaking their heads in disbelief. The betrayal isn't just about hidden family ties, it's about selling the world an image of honesty and accountability while secretly living by cover-ups and silence. Even casual listeners are asking the hard question, if he's lied about this, what else has been smoke and mirrors all along? And the ripple effect is massive. The Carter Empire isn't just about music. It's a billion-dollar dynasty built on streaming platforms, fashion empires, luxury endorsements, philanthropy projects, and a spotless public image. Together, Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been marketed as a modern-day dynasty, music's king and queen, untouchable in influence.
But when one side of the crown starts to crack, the whole throne shakes.
The tremors are spreading, and Beyoncé's silence is screaming louder than any statement could. Every Instagram caption, every red carpet smile is dissected like a code, with fans asking the same burning question. Is the Queen Bey furious behind the scenes? Could this be the start of a marriage unraveling, one that risks not only their union, but the billion-dollar empire they built side by side? The stakes couldn't be higher. Ivy Park isn't just a clothing line, it's a multi-million-dollar brand partnered with some of the world's biggest corporations. Roc Nation isn't just a label, it's a powerhouse managing artists, athletes, global contracts, and campaigns worth fortunes. Their combined brand equity is astronomical, but it all rests on one fragile pillar, a flawless public image. If that image cracks, the damage won't stop with gossip blogs. It will spread straight into boardrooms, endorsement deals, billion-dollar partnerships. The empire that once looked untouchable could suddenly look like glass ready to shatter. And in a world where reputation is currency, fragility is deadly. But just as the flames rise higher, new oxygen keeps feeding the fire. Fans are whispering a chillingly simple question. Is this only the beginning? We already heard from Letitia Meir, the woman from Maryland who insists Jay-Z is her father, with family members backing her story, tying their pasts together. Add in the whispers of hush money deals, hidden homes, and quiet financial support. And it all points to a dangerous pattern, not a one-off scandal. If Remir's DNA confirmation was the first domino, then Letitia could be the second, and who knows how many more are waiting in line. The rumor mill is spinning faster by the day. Old lyrics are being picked apart like courtroom evidence, with fans asking if his bars were secret confessions all along. That infamous line, "The kid ain't mine," now sounds less like bravado and more like a desperate cover-up. Even former associates are suddenly speaking louder, connecting timelines, hinting at stories that could break open at any second. Every skeleton from Jay-Z's past is being dragged back into the spotlight. And in the momentum of this scandal, any one of them could explode into the next bombshell headline. The danger here isn't just about reputation, it's about history itself. Jay-Z spent decades shaping himself into a cultural giant, the architect of hip-hop's business revolution, the man who flipped street credibility into boardroom power. But legacies built over decades can crumble in a single night. We've seen it happen before. Moguls who looked untouchable wiped out by one scandal that erased everything. If Jay-Z's story shifts from visionary leader to serial deceiver, the damage won't stop at his music catalog. It will stain the entire myth he built. The myth of a man who once bragged he was bigger than hip-hop itself. And all eyes now turn to Beyoncé. She holds the power to steady the dynasty, or to let it collapse right in front of the world. But her silence is risky. If she continues standing by him, she faces being branded complicit, accused of protecting the lies through silence. If she turns against him, it sends an even louder signal that even she, the woman who endured his betrayals before, has finally hit her breaking point. Insiders whisper that her ultimatum is already on the table, her patience gone, their marriage hanging by the thinnest thread. Now picture the fallout. If the most powerful couple in music cracks under this storm, every deal, every endorsement, every tour tied to the Carter dynasty could tremble like a collapsing empire. And here's the chilling reality. This isn't just about one courtroom showdown or one DNA test. This is about the slow unmasking of power that was too carefully staged for too long. Every fresh allegation feeds the flames, every insider whisper adds suspicion, and every silent moment from the Carters makes the world wonder what else is hiding in the shadows. Because if one secret child can shake a billion-dollar dynasty, what happens if 2, 3, or more come forward? What does it do to a man to spend decades burying the truth of his own bloodline? The toll of living a double life this heavy can't be underestimated. Jay-Z may have built walls of denial for years. Legal maneuvers, endless deflections, but each move only tightens the noose. Carrying secrets for decades corrodes even the sharpest mind, and we saw it explode in that courtroom. The calm, calculated mogul erupted in anger, cracks of fury breaking through the mask he'd worn for so long. The man who thrived on control is now unraveling under the very lies he thought would protect him. So the question cuts deep. Has Jay-Z's empire always been shadowed by the silent weight of living a lie? And then there's Beyoncé, caught between loyalty and disillusionment. Imagine the strain. Smiling for cameras, performing flawless perfection on stage, while knowing the foundation of your marriage is rotting underneath. The queen of composure, the woman whose art is built on power and resilience, forced to live with cracks she could never expose. But silence has its own cost. The psychological toll can be just as brutal as betrayal. Every red carpet walk, every family photo turns into a performance layered over storms nobody can see. And over time, even the most regal facade starts to tremble. For Rymir, the emotional weight has been different, but just as devastating. From childhood into adulthood, he's lived under whispers, haunted by an absence of recognition that shapes identity itself. To grow up knowing or being told that the man celebrated as a global icon is your father, while at the same time being denied acknowledgement, that carves a wound no settlement, no payout, no press release could ever heal. His fight has never truly been about fortune. It's been about identity. Years of rejection, courtroom battles, dismissals. They all point to a young man chasing not money, but legitimacy. That hunger for belonging leaves scars deeper than fame and headlines could ever cover. And secrets like these never stay isolated. They ripple outward, poisoning every interaction, every relationship, every decision. For Jay-Z, the relentless need to guard his truth may have shaped his cutthroat business instincts, his obsession with control, his mistrust of outsiders. For Beyoncé, the desperate need to protect image at any cost may explain her meticulous perfectionism and her near-total silence outside carefully staged artistry. For Rymir, that lifelong battle for recognition may even explain his pursuit of music, a way to carve his own name in the very world his alleged father dominates. The lie itself has become the defining shadow over all their lives. And psychologists warn, a lie only grows heavier with time. One denial demands another. Every silence deepens the fracture. What begins as one secret soon mutates into a web of cover-ups, evasions, and emotional compromises. For the Carters, that web has stretched for decades, and the longer it spun, the more dangerous it became. The human mind was never built to carry that much contradiction forever. Eventually, the truth bursts through, and when it does, the collapse is both external and internal. That's why this scandal cuts so deep. It isn't just about an empire in crisis, it's about people, flawed humans, unraveling under the crushing weight of deception. We're not only witnessing the collapse of a carefully polished image, we're seeing the private cost of living behind locked doors of silence. This is a story of broken trust, fractured identities, and the scars that form when secrets stretch across decades. And now, with everything exposed, the question lingers. Can any of them, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, or Rymir, ever escape the shadow of these lies? This isn't just a scandal, and it's a warning. Power can build dynasties, but lies can destroy them. Jay-Z's legacy is dangling by a thread. Beyoncé's loyalty is under a spotlight, and the empire they built together trembles with every new revelation. Will this go down as the scandal that ended it all, or the storm the Carters somehow managed to survive? What do you think? Can they weather this chaos, or are we watching music's most powerful couple implode before our very eyes? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to hear it. And until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and remember, the truth always finds a way out.